Ladies and gentlemen, not with your ears, but with the depths of your being. The truth is this: everyone who enters your life will one day leave. The hands you hold today may not always be there to hold yours tomorrow. But do not despair, for this is the way of life. It is not a curse, but a sacred design to awaken you to the infinite power within. The world teaches you to fear being alone. But I tell you, this solitude is not loneliness, it is the gateway to discovering who you truly are. When others walk away, they do not take your strength with them. They leave behind an empty space, a space you must fill with your own light. Stop chasing those who no longer wish to stay. Understand that their departure is not your loss, but your liberation. It is life whispering to you, turn inward, for there is a treasure here that you have overlooked. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the one you cultivate with yourself. When you rely on the external world to validate your worth, you are like a tree without roots, swayed by every wind. But when you root yourself in the infinite power of your mind, you become immovable. Begin now to see yourself as whole, even when others leave. Speak to yourself as though you are your greatest love, your most trusted ally. I am enough, you declare. And in that declaration, you will find all that you have ever sought in others. Solitude is not the absence of others, it is the presence of self. When you learn to survive alone, you awaken to a deeper truth: you were never truly alone. The infinite spirit within you is your constant companion, your unfailing guide. So do not fear when people leave. Release them with gratitude, for they have fulfilled their role in your story. And as they go, turn your gaze inward. There, in the quiet depths of your being, you will find the strength to not just survive, but to flourish. Life is a river, ever flowing and ever changing. The people, places, and moments that come into our lives are like ripples on the surface of that river, beautiful, fleeting, and impossible to hold. Yet we often find ourselves clinging to these ripples, desperate to freeze them in time, longing for them to remain exactly as they are. This attachment to permanence, to the illusion that things will stay the same, is the root of much of our suffering. Consider the relationships we cherish. When we love someone, we often wish for that connection to remain untouched by the tides of change. We imagine that love will always feel as it does in its most tender moments, that the bond will never fray, and that the person we care for will never leave. But people are not static beings. They grow, evolve, and sometimes drift away. To resist this truth is to resist the very nature of life. The same applies to our circumstances. When we achieve success, we want to hold on to it forever. When we experience joy, we want it to linger. But success can fade, and joy is as impermanent as the clouds in the sky. Seasons change, opportunities come and go, and even the brightest days eventually give way to night. This is not a flaw in the design of life, it is its essence. By clinging to what is transient, we set ourselves up for heartache. We grasp at relationships, possessions, and experiences, trying to keep them from slipping through our fingers. Yet the tighter we hold on, the more we feel the sting of loss when they inevitably change or fade away. Life does not offer guarantees, and nothing in this world is meant to remain exactly as it is. But herein lies an extraordinary truth. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we free ourselves from the chains of suffering. To see life as it truly is, a series of moments, each unique and irreplaceable, is to understand its profound beauty. Instead of clinging to what was or worrying about what might be, we can learn to live fully in the present, appreciating each moment for the gift that it is. Growth often comes from the very impermanence we resist. When a relationship ends, it may hurt deeply, but it also creates space for new connections, new lessons, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we lose something we value, it forces us to reassess what truly matters and to find strength we didn't know we had. Loss is not the end, it is a doorway to transformation. The world around us mirrors this truth. The seasons shift, flowers bloom and wither, the sun rises and sets. Nature does not mourn these changes, it embraces them as part of a greater cycle. In the same way, we are meant to flow with life, not against it. To cling to permanence is to deny ourselves the richness of life's ebb and flow. This does not mean we should become indifferent or detached. Loving deeply and cherishing what we have are integral parts of the human experience. But true love, whether for a person, a moment, or a dream, does not demand permanence. It understands that the beauty of something lies in its impermanence. A sunset is breathtaking precisely because it does not last forever. A flower's fragility is what makes it precious. Learning to let go is not about giving up, it is about trusting the process of life. It is about understanding that when one door closes, another opens. It is about realizing that we are never truly losing, we are simply transitioning from one chapter to the next. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we become more resilient. We stop fearing change and start welcoming it as an opportunity for growth. We no longer see endings as failures but as natural progressions. We begin to find joy not in holding on but in experiencing life fully moment by moment. Letting go of the illusion of permanence is not easy. It requires courage to face uncertainty and faith to believe that what lies ahead will serve our highest good. But as we release our grip on what was and surrender to what is, we discover a profound sense of peace. We learn to trust that life, in all its impermanence, is guiding us exactly where we need to be. So let the river of life flow freely. Cherish the ripples as they come, but do not mourn their passing. Each moment, fleeting as it may be, holds its own unique beauty. By embracing the impermanence of life, we unlock the door to true freedom, growth, and a deeper appreciation for the ever-changing dance of existence. Within each of us lies a realm untouched by the chaos of the outside world, a sanctuary that holds the essence of who we truly are. This inner reality is the seat of our strength, the wellspring from which all that we desire and all that we are flows. Yet so often we seek validation, fulfillment, and peace from external sources, believing that our happiness depends on circumstances, people, or possessions. In doing so, we overlook the boundless power within us, the power to shape our lives, transform our experiences, and anchor ourselves in unwavering peace. Your imagination is not just a tool for idle daydreaming, it is the architect of your reality. Every thought, every vision you hold within your mind carries the potential to manifest in the world around you. When you learn to dwell in the sanctuary of your imagination, crafting thoughts and images that align with your deepest desires, you awaken a creative force that can move mountains. What you consistently imagine with conviction becomes the blueprint for your life. The outer world is but a reflection of the inner, therefore, by mastering your inner reality, you gain mastery over your external circumstances. Yet this power is often underestimated or misunderstood. Many believe that change must come from exerting control over the physical world, from pushing, striving, and battling against perceived obstacles. But the truth is far simpler and infinitely more profound. The world you experience is a mirror of your inner state. If you carry turmoil within, it will manifest as chaos around you. If you nurture peace and abundance within, your external reality will echo that harmony. Building a life rooted in inner peace begins with recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your experience. This realization is liberating. No longer do you need to wait for the world to grant you permission to be happy, successful, or fulfilled. You hold that power within you at every moment. The key is to turn inward, to cultivate a relationship with your inner self, and to consciously choose thoughts and feelings that uplift and empower you. Inner peace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to remain centered and unshaken amidst them. It is the calm in the storm, the unwavering light that guides you through the darkest times. To access this peace, you must learn to quiet the noise of the external world and listen to the still, small voice within. Meditation, reflection, and deliberate imagination are powerful practices that help you connect with this inner sanctuary. As you spend more time in this sacred space, you will find that the opinions of others, the fluctuations of fortune, and the uncertainties of life lose their grip on you. Your inner reality is also a place of limitless potential. In this realm, there are no boundaries, no restrictions, and no limitations. You can envision yourself as the person you wish to become, living the life you dream of. And as you hold that vision with faith and persistence, it begins to take form in the physical world. This is not wishful thinking, it is the natural law of creation. Just as a seed, when nurtured, grows into a tree, so too does a thought, when sustained, grow into reality. But to harness the power of your inner reality, you must be vigilant about the thoughts you entertain. Doubt, fear, and negativity can creep in, distorting the visions you hold and undermining your creative power. To guard against this, make a habit of focusing on what you desire rather than what you fear. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, and trust in your ability to create the life you envision. It is also vital to approach this process with patience and trust. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seeds to check their growth, you must not doubt the seeds of thought you plant in your imagination. Trust that the unseen forces of life are working on your behalf, aligning circumstances, opportunities, and people to bring your vision to fruition. The more you dwell in the sanctuary of your inner reality, the less you will depend on the world around you to dictate your sense of self-worth and happiness. You will become unshakable, rooted in the knowledge that everything you need is already within you. This is true freedom, the ability to navigate life with confidence, knowing that you are the master of your destiny, the creator of your experience. As you cultivate this inner strength, you will find that your outer world begins to shift in ways that seem almost magical. Opportunities will arise, challenges will dissolve, and relationships will flourish. This is the power of inner reality. It transforms not only your perception but also your experience of life. And in this transformation, you will discover a profound truth: the peace, joy, and fulfillment you have sought were never outside of you, they were within you all along. True freedom begins when you realize that everything you need to feel whole, content, and fulfilled already resides within you. Yet so much of life is spent seeking validation, security, and happiness from external sources, whether through relationships, possessions, or social approval. This dependence, while often comforting in the moment, slowly erodes your spirit. It creates a cycle of reliance where your sense of well-being hinges on factors beyond your control. But when you cultivate self-sufficiency, you reclaim your power. You discover that liberation is not found in others, but in your ability to stand firm within yourself. Dependence on others, while natural to a degree, becomes detrimental when it dictates your happiness or self-worth. When you rely on external forces to provide fulfillment, you surrender your autonomy and tether yourself to the ever-changing tides of life. People may leave, circumstances may shift, and possessions may fade, leaving you vulnerable and unanchored. To build a life rooted in self-sufficiency is to anchor yourself in something unshakable, your own inner strength and resilience. Self-sufficiency does not mean isolation or rejecting help from others. It is not about closing yourself off from meaningful connections or refusing the beauty of shared experiences. Rather, it is about ensuring that your foundation is strong enough to withstand any storm. It is the ability to find joy in solitude, to pursue your goals without waiting for approval, and to trust in your capacity to navigate life's challenges on your own terms. The journey towards self-sufficiency begins with self-awareness. You must first recognize the areas where you have outsourced your power. Perhaps you seek constant reassurance from others, feeling uneasy when left alone. Maybe you derive your self-worth from external achievements, needing accolades or recognition to feel valuable. Or you might rely on material possessions to create a sense of security. Identifying these dependencies is the first step to breaking free from them. Once you've recognized your patterns, the next step is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking to others to fill emotional voids, turn to yourself. Ask yourself what truly makes you happy, not what you've been told should make you happy. Spend time exploring your passions, cultivating your skills, and nurturing your inner world. As you invest in yourself, you'll find that the need for external validation diminishes. You become your own source of fulfillment. Building self-sufficiency also requires embracing solitude. Many people fear being alone, associating it with loneliness or a lack of connection. But solitude is not something to fear, it is a sacred space where you can reconnect with yourself. In solitude, you gain clarity about who you are and what you want. You learn to enjoy your own company and to draw strength from within. When you are comfortable being alone, you become less dependent on the presence of others to feel complete. Another key aspect of self-sufficiency is cultivating emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. But when you depend solely on others to help you navigate difficulties, you weaken your ability to cope on your own. Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversity with grace, to adapt to change, and to find strength in the midst of uncertainty. It comes from trusting your capacity to overcome obstacles, no matter how daunting they may seem. Financial independence is another important component of self-sufficiency. When you rely on others for financial support, you limit your freedom to make choices and live on your own terms. By taking control of your financial well-being, you create opportunities for yourself and gain the confidence that comes with knowing you can stand on your own 2 feet. This doesn't mean you have to achieve wealth overnight. It means taking intentional steps toward managing your resources wisely and building a life that aligns with your values. At its core, self-sufficiency is about empowerment. It is about recognizing that you are enough, that you have within you everything you need to create a life of meaning and purpose. It is about freeing yourself from the chains of dependency and reclaiming your autonomy. This liberation is not only a gift to yourself but also to others. When you are self-sufficient, you can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You can give without expecting in return and love without fear of loss because you are not dependent on others to complete you. The path to self-sufficiency is not always easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It requires courage to face your fears, determination to build your strengths, and faith in your ability to create a fulfilling life. But as you take each step, you will feel a profound sense of freedom. You will no longer be bound by the actions or opinions of others. You will no longer fear being alone, because you will know that you are never truly alone. You have yourself. And that is enough. In this state of liberation, you will discover a truth that transforms your life. Fulfillment is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something you create within. By cultivating self-sufficiency, you unlock the power to live with purpose, peace, and unshakable confidence. And that, above all else, is true freedom. Rejection often feels like a sharp and painful blow to the heart. It stirs feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and sometimes even despair. But what if rejection is not an end but a profound redirection? What if it is life's way of guiding you toward a higher purpose, one that you could not have reached if the door you were clinging to had not closed? To see rejection as redirection is to shift your perspective, recognizing that what feels like loss is often the seed of transformation. When people leave your life, it can feel like a betrayal or a failure. We naturally form attachments, seeking comfort and stability in relationships. However, not all connections are meant to last forever. Some people enter your life for a season, playing a role in your growth before their part in your story concludes. Their departure, while painful, creates space for new opportunities, lessons and relationships that align more closely with your journey. Life operates in ways that often defy immediate understanding. In the moment, it is hard to see the larger picture or the reasons behind certain events. But with time and reflection, patterns emerge, revealing how rejection or loss was a necessary part of your evolution. Perhaps a breakup led you to discover your own strength and independence. Maybe being passed over for a job opened the door to an opportunity that was far more fulfilling. What appears as rejection is often a nudge, or sometimes a shove in a direction that better serves your growth and potential. Rejection also teaches resilience. Each time you face the pain of being turned away or let go, you have the choice to rise stronger. It is an opportunity to reaffirm your self-worth independent of others' opinions or decisions. Instead of seeing rejection as a reflection of your inadequacy, view it as a sign that something better awaits you. The process of overcoming rejection builds character, teaching you patience, perseverance, and trust in the unfolding of life. The transformation often begins in the shadow of loss. When familiar structures or relationships crumble, you are forced to confront yourself in a way that comfort and stability never demanded. You are invited to explore who you are without the roles, titles, or connections that once defined you. This exploration can be uncomfortable, even frightening, but it is also liberating. It is in these moments of uncertainty that you discover new facets of yourself, strengths, passions, and dreams that were hidden beneath the surface. The pain of rejection also encourages introspection. It prompts you to ask meaningful questions. Was this person, job, or situation truly aligned with who I am and what I want? What can I learn from this experience? How can I grow and move forward? These questions lead to deeper self-awareness, helping you make choices that are more authentic and intentional. In this way, rejection becomes a teacher, guiding you to greater clarity about your values and goals. Rejection often protects you from paths that are not meant for you. It may close doors to relationships or opportunities that, had they continued, might have caused more harm than good. While it's difficult to accept this truth in the moment, hindsight often reveals how rejection saved you from settling for less than you deserve. Trusting this process requires faith in life's wisdom and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. When you embrace rejection as redirection, you also learn to let go of resistance. Clinging to people or situations that are trying to leave your life only prolongs your pain. Instead, release them with gratitude for the role they played in your journey. This act of letting go is not a sign of weakness but of courage and wisdom. It shows that you trust life to guide you towards something greater. The transformation that follows rejection is not immediate. It requires patience and an open heart. There will be moments of doubt, sadness, and longing, but these emotions are part of the healing process. As you move through them, you begin to notice the gifts hidden within the experience. You may find new opportunities, meet people who inspire and uplift you, or uncover a deeper sense of purpose. Each step forward reinforces the truth that rejection is not the end, it is a beginning. Rejection, then, is a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. It forces you to step out of your comfort zone, confront your fears, and embrace change. It challenges you to redefine what success, love, and fulfillment mean to you. And most importantly, it redirects you toward paths that are in alignment with your highest potential. When you look back on moments of rejection, you may realize that they were some of the most pivotal points in your life. They pushed you to grow, to evolve, and to become more fully yourself. What initially felt like loss transformed into gain, and what seemed like an ending became a new beginning. In embracing rejection as redirection, you cultivate a profound trust in life's process. You learn to see challenges as opportunities, losses as lessons, and endings as doorways to new beginnings. This perspective empowers you to move forward with courage and hope, knowing that even in the face of rejection, life is always working for your highest good. In a world that is constantly moving, filled with noise, distractions, and the demands of daily life, solitude can often be misunderstood. Many view solitude as a form of punishment, a state to be avoided at all costs. The idea of being alone can bring discomfort, fear, or even anxiety. We've been conditioned to believe that being surrounded by people, engaging in constant activity, or staying busy is a measure of success or happiness. Yet the truth is, solitude is not a punishment, it is a sacred gift, a space where you can reconnect with your true essence, find clarity, and rediscover the peace and strength that lies within. When you embrace solitude, you step away from the external chaos that often clouds your mind and your emotions. In silence, you can hear your own thoughts, your own heart. Without the interference of others' opinions or the noise of the world, you can tune in to what is truly important to you. Solitude provides a rare opportunity for introspection. It allows you to sift through your emotions, your desires, and your dreams. Without the pressure to conform to societal expectations or please others, you are free to be yourself, to truly understand who you are, what you want, and where you're going. You can shed the roles you play for others, the friend, the colleague, the partner, the parent, and return to your most authentic self. It's in these quiet moments that you can strip away the layers of external influence that often mask your true nature. You begin to rediscover the dreams, passions, and values that may have been overshadowed by the demands of everyday life. Solitude allows you to connect with your inner wisdom, the part of you that knows what is best for your journey, your growth, and your happiness. Solitude is also a powerful tool for healing. In a world that encourages constant activity and distraction, it can be easy to ignore emotional wounds or unresolved issues. But in the stillness of solitude, you can face these challenges without the pressure of external distractions. It's a space where you can reflect, process, and release the emotional baggage that you may have been carrying. Solitude gives you the space to let go of the past, to forgive yourself and others, and to make peace with your experiences. It provides the necessary time to heal, rebuild, and restore your energy and emotional well-being. The fear of being alone often stems from a deep-rooted belief that solitude equals loneliness. However, loneliness is not the same as solitude. Loneliness arises when we feel disconnected from others and from ourselves, while solitude is the conscious choice to be alone in order to reconnect with our inner self. Loneliness is the absence of connection, but solitude is the presence of self-awareness. When you learn to be at peace with your own company, you stop fearing solitude. Instead of seeking external validation or the presence of others to feel complete, you find wholeness within. In this way, solitude becomes a source of strength rather than something to fear. You also learn to trust yourself. The constant noise and distractions of daily life can often drown out your own voice, leaving you unsure of your decisions and your direction. But when you are alone, you are forced to rely on your own judgment, to trust your own intuition, and to make decisions based on your true desires, rather than on the expectations or opinions of others. Solitude gives you the clarity and confidence to follow your own path, unapologetically and without hesitation. Many people fear that they will miss out on life if they spend time alone. They worry that solitude will cause them to become disconnected from the world, but the opposite is true. Solitude enhances your connection to the world by first deepening your connection to yourself. When you are centered and at peace within, you bring a higher level of awareness and presence to your interactions with others. You are no longer seeking fulfillment from external sources, but rather from your own wellspring of peace, love, and understanding. This inner peace radiates outward, enhancing your relationships and your ability to engage with the world in a meaningful way. Solitude offers the opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It is in these quiet moments that you can explore new ideas, develop new passions, and cultivate your creativity. When you are not constantly distracted by the demands of others or the noise of the world, you give your mind the space to innovate, reflect, and expand. It is in solitude that you can listen to the quiet whispers of your soul, the ones that often get drowned out by the chaos of daily life. These whispers guide you toward your higher purpose, your truest self. It also teaches you self-discipline and patience. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, the stillness of solitude requires a certain level of patience and acceptance. It teaches you to be comfortable with the ebb and flow of life, to trust that everything will unfold in its own time. In solitude, you cultivate the ability to be present with yourself, to sit with your thoughts, to allow your emotions to rise and fall without judgment, and to embrace the moments of stillness rather than seeking constant action. It is a sacred practice, a gift that allows you to reconnect with your true essence. It is a space where you can find clarity, healing, and strength. It is a time to rediscover your passions, to nurture your creativity, and to listen to the wisdom that resides within you. By embracing solitude, you come to realize that you are never truly alone, for you carry the entirety of your being within you, and that in itself is a source of limitless peace and power. Surviving alone is often thought of as a matter of physical endurance, how long you can last without help, how well you can provide for yourself, and how capable you are of managing your immediate needs. However, true survival, especially in moments of solitude, is far less about physical strength and much more about mental resilience. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It shapes your experiences, your perception of reality, and ultimately your ability to thrive. If you want to survive and flourish in solitude, you must first master your mind. In times of challenge, your mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It can either empower you to overcome obstacles, or it can fill you with doubt, fear, and negativity. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle often lies in their ability to control their thoughts and emotions. The key is to recognize that your thoughts create your reality. If you constantly focus on what you lack, on the things that are missing from your life, your mind will align with scarcity. But if you train your mind to focus on abundance, on the endless possibilities and resources available to you, you will open the door to growth and success. Abundance is not just about material wealth or external circumstances, it is a mindset. It is the belief that no matter what your external circumstances may be, you are always capable of creating more. When you focus on abundance, you are aligning your thoughts with the idea that there is more than enough for you to succeed and prosper. This mindset shifts your energy from fear and limitation to possibility and opportunity. You begin to see that everything you need is already within you, and the universe is constantly presenting you with ways to grow, evolve, and thrive. On the other hand, focusing on lack keeps you trapped in a cycle of scarcity. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you don't have enough, whether that's money, love, support, or resources. This mindset clouds your vision and limits your potential. The more you dwell on what's missing, the more you attract experiences that reinforce that feeling of lack. You begin to believe that survival depends on external factors, on people or circumstances that are beyond your control. But the truth is that true survival is rooted in mental resilience, in your ability to focus your mind on what is possible rather than what is not. One of the first steps in mastering your mind is learning to control your thoughts. This means recognizing when negative or limiting thoughts arise and actively choosing to replace them with positive, empowering ones. It's easy to let your mind spiral into fear, worry, and self-doubt. But with practice, you can train your mind to let go of these destructive patterns and replace them with thoughts that support your growth. When you catch yourself thinking about what you don't have, pause and shift your focus to what you do have. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough time, tell yourself, I have all the time I need to accomplish my goals. This simple shift in perspective helps you to step into a mindset of abundance. The key aspect of mastering your mind is learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are powerful, and they can either fuel your growth or hinder it. When you allow your emotions to control you, you become a victim of circumstance, reacting to everything around you instead of proactively shaping your own experience. However, when you take control of your emotional responses, you begin to operate from a place of power. You can choose how to respond to any situation, whether it's one of joy, frustration, sadness, or fear. Instead of letting emotions dictate your actions, you can use them as signals to guide your decisions and refine your mindset. For example, if you feel fear, use it as an opportunity to examine what you're afraid of and challenge that fear. If you feel frustration, take a step back and ask yourself what's within your control and what's not. By taking responsibility for your emotional state, you regain control of your mind and your life. Another powerful tool in mastering your mind is meditation. Meditation allows you to quiet the noise of the world and your own thoughts, creating space for clarity and peace. It teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment and to create mental stillness. In this stillness, you can connect to your inner wisdom, your intuition, and your deepest desires. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that you gain the clarity to make decisions aligned with your true purpose. The more you practice meditation, the more you cultivate mental resilience. You learn to detach from the constant chatter of the mind and to focus on the present moment. In this space, you are free from the worries of the past and the fears of the future. You become fully engaged in the present, and from this place of centeredness, you can approach life with greater calm and confidence. A final aspect of mastering your mind is cultivating gratitude. When you focus on what you are grateful for, You begin to attract more of the things that bring you joy, abundance, and peace. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, reminding you that you already have everything you need to succeed. By incorporating a daily gratitude practice into your life, you retrain your mind to focus on the positive, which in turn helps you to maintain a mindset of abundance, no matter what challenges you face. Mastering your mind is a journey, not a destination. It takes consistent effort, practice, and patience. But when you make the decision to train your mind to focus on abundance and not lack, you unlock a powerful force within you. You realize that survival, thriving, and fulfillment are not dependent on external circumstances, but on your ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions. In this space of mental resilience, you become the creator of your own reality, capable of overcoming any obstacle and achieving any goal. In conclusion, mastering your mind is the key to thriving in solitude and surviving life's challenges. It is not physical strength, but the resilience of your thoughts and emotions that ultimately determines your success. By focusing on abundance instead of lack, training your mind to cultivate positive thoughts, managing your emotions with wisdom, and practicing gratitude, you create a foundation of inner strength that allows you to navigate life with confidence and peace. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool, and when you harness it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for your attention and for allowing me the opportunity to share these thoughts with you. May you continue to grow, evolve, and master your mind, creating a life rooted in abundance, peace, and inner strength.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a truth. When someone walks back into your life, it's not just a moment, it's a test. And how you respond, how you carry yourself, will determine the respect you gain or lose in that moment. When he contacts you, whether it's a text, a call, or an unexpected "hey," then thinking about you, don't rush to respond. Don't jump at the sound of his name like you've been waiting by the phone. Instead, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what does this moment mean for me? The biggest mistake you can make is letting your emotions take the wheel. If you react impulsively, you risk giving away your power. And let me tell you, the moment you give someone your power, they will take it every single time. You see, there's a version of you he remembers, a version that might have settled, that might have been too available. But this version of you, this new you, she knows her worth. And worth doesn't chase, it attracts. Worth doesn't explain, it shows. Now let's talk about silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. When he reaches out, resist the urge to over-explain yourself, your choices, or your feelings. Trust me, if he's reaching out, he already knows what he lost. You don't need to remind him. But here's the real heart of it. When someone who left your life tries to come back, they're not just checking on you, they're checking the boundaries you've set. Don't make the mistake of lowering those boundaries because of nostalgia or loneliness. Let your standards speak for you. You've worked too hard to heal, to grow, to become the person you are today. So don't let a single message or phone call undo the progress you've made. If he's coming back, he needs to meet you at the level you've risen to, not drag you back to the level you left behind. Confidence is your best ally. When he contacts you, don't chase, don't beg, and don't settle. Walk with the strength of someone who knows they are enough, because you are. Let him see that if he wants to stay in your life, it's going to take more than just words. So I leave you with this: protect your peace. Guard your heart. And when someone reaches out, don't make the mistake of forgetting the power you hold. Because in the end, how you respond says more about you than it ever will about him. When life presents you with unexpected situations, especially moments charged with emotional weight, your initial reaction sets the tone for everything that follows. Whether it's a call from someone who once hurt you, a chance encounter with a figure from your past, or even a difficult conversation with a loved one, the way you respond in that first moment is critical. It's not just about what you say or do, it's about the energy you bring into that interaction. And that's where staying grounded becomes essential. You see, emotions are powerful. They are the raw, unfiltered language of the heart, and they can elevate us to incredible heights or drag us down into chaos. When faced with a situation that stirs those emotions, especially when it's tied to someone who has a hold on your heart, it's easy to let those feelings dictate your actions. But here's the truth: reacting impulsively, out of anger, sadness, or even excitement, can lead to decisions you may regret later. Think of your emotions as a river. When they're flowing peacefully, they nourish and inspire. But when the current becomes too strong, it can sweep you away. Staying grounded is like anchoring yourself on solid ground, ensuring that no matter how wild the river gets, you remain steady and in control. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, it means understanding them, acknowledging them, and choosing not to let them run the show. Imagine this scenario: someone who once left you or wronged you suddenly reappears in your life. Your heart races, your mind floods with memories, and before you know it, you're on the verge of reacting, sending a long message, making a hasty phone call, or expressing emotions that haven't been fully processed. But ask yourself, what's the purpose of that reaction? Is it to prove something? To seek closure? To let them know how much they hurt you? In most cases, those impulsive responses aren't about resolution, they're about trying to regain control of a situation that once left you feeling powerless. The key is to pause. In that moment of emotional intensity, take a breath literally. Give yourself the space to process what you're feeling. When you pause, you create an opportunity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This pause is where your power lies. It's where you remind yourself that you are no longer the person who needs validation or explanation to feel whole. Staying grounded also means being present. Instead of letting your mind spiral into what-ifs or past pain, bring your focus to the here and now. Ask yourself, what do I truly want in this moment? And what outcome aligns with the person I've become? When you're grounded, you're able to see the situation for what it is, not through the lens of old wounds or unresolved emotions. One of the most empowering things you can do is separate your feelings from your actions. It's okay to feel hurt, betrayed, or even hopeful when someone contacts you. Those feelings are valid and deserve acknowledgement. But your actions, the words you choose, the tone you use, and the boundaries you set should come from a place of self-respect and clarity. When you act from this place, you're not just reacting to the situation, you're asserting the person you've worked so hard to become. The first reaction is often the most remembered. It's the one that leaves an impression, the one that defines how others perceive you in that moment. If you allow yourself to be swept away by emotion, you risk giving away your power. But if you respond with grace, calmness, and intention, you show the world and yourself that you are in control. Control doesn't mean being cold or unfeeling, it means choosing strength over chaos. It means recognizing that you don't have to meet every situation with the intensity it brings. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to remain calm in the face of the storm. That calmness is not a sign of indifference. It's a testament to your inner strength and self-assurance. Staying grounded in emotional moments is about honoring yourself. It's about protecting your peace and maintaining the dignity you've worked so hard to cultivate. So the next time you're faced with a situation that tugs at your emotions, remember this: you have the power to define the course, and that power begins with staying grounded. There is a quiet power in restraint, a strength in holding back when the world urges you to explain, justify, or prove yourself. Too often, we feel compelled to fill silences with words, to provide explanations for our choices, our boundaries, and even our presence. But here's the truth: your worth does not hinge on someone else's understanding of you. It is inherent, immutable, and does not need validation from anyone outside of yourself. When someone reaches out, whether it's an old friend, a past love, or even a colleague who once doubted you, there is a temptation to explain everything. You may feel the urge to recount your growth, justify the decisions that led you to where you are, or even defend why you no longer fit into the version of yourself they once knew. But stop for a moment and ask yourself, why do I feel the need to explain? Most of the time, that urge stems from a desire to be understood, to prove our worth, or to seek validation for the choices we've made. Here's the thing: true dignity doesn't demand explanations. Dignity is quiet, it's self-assured. It's knowing that your value remains constant, regardless of whether or not others see it. When you over-explain, you inadvertently place your worth in the hands of others, asking them to approve or acknowledge what should never be up for debate. Silence, on the other hand, speaks volumes. It communicates confidence, self-respect, and a refusal to engage in unnecessary justifications. When someone questions you, your choices, your boundaries, or even your absence, your silence can carry a weight that no words ever could. It tells them, without a single syllable, that you owe them nothing, that you stand firm in who you are without needing to prove it. Think of silence as a mirror. When you refuse to over-explain, you hold up a reflection for others to face. It forces them to sit with their own questions, their own assumptions, and their own role in the situation. Sometimes people reach out not because they genuinely seek understanding, but because they're uncomfortable with the distance or the boundaries you've set. By staying silent, you place the responsibility for that discomfort squarely where it belongs on them. This doesn't mean you should never communicate. There is a time and place for conversations, for expressing your feelings, and for clarifying misunderstandings. But communication is not the same as over-explaining. Over-explaining often stems from a place of insecurity, a belief that if you don't justify yourself, others will misjudge or misunderstand you. But here's the reality: no amount of explanation can change how someone chooses to perceive you. And those who truly respect you won't require an explanation in the first place. When you embrace the power of silence, you reclaim your energy. You conserve the emotional and mental resources that might otherwise be spent trying to craft the perfect defense or narrative. Instead, you redirect that energy inward, using it to strengthen your sense of self-worth and peace. This is not about being cold or dismissive. It's about prioritizing your own well-being and refusing to engage in dynamics that diminish you. Let's not forget the element of mystery. When you choose not to over-explain, you create space for others to wonder, to reflect, and to recognize your growth on their own. That space is powerful. It challenges people to see you as you are now, rather than trying to fit you into the mold of who you used to be. And in that space, you give yourself the freedom to continue evolving without being tethered to others' expectations. Dignity is about knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It's about recognizing that your worth is not a debate, a negotiation, or a question that needs an answer. When you let your silence carry the weight of your dignity, you stand in a quiet, unshakable power. You remind the world and yourself that you are enough, just as you are, and that is more than sufficient. In every interaction, you are given an opportunity to define who you are and what you stand for. When someone reaches out to you, especially if it's someone whose past actions may have tested your boundaries, you must approach the moment with clarity and resolve. This is your chance to articulate, perhaps without words, the standards you hold for yourself and the relationships you allow in your life. Clarity is power. When you know what you stand for, you move through the world with a sense of purpose and self-assurance. Your standards reflect your values, your self-respect, and the lessons you've learned along the way. They are not arbitrary rules or unrealistic expectations. They are the foundation of a life lived with integrity. And yet, in moments of vulnerability or nostalgia, it can be tempting to compromise those standards for the sake of connection, understanding, or even closure. But compromising on what you believe in comes at a cost, one that often leaves you feeling diminished or disrespected. To be clear about your standards, you must first be deeply in tune with yourself. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are your non-negotiables in relationships? What behaviors are unacceptable, no matter the circumstances? What do you deserve and what will you never tolerate again? Answering these questions honestly will provide you with the framework for setting boundaries that are firm yet fair. When someone contacts you, especially someone from your past, they are stepping into a new version of you. They may approach you with expectations rooted in who you used to be, not realizing that you've grown and evolved. This is your moment to show them that you are no longer willing to bend to meet old dynamics. You're not the same person they once knew, and your standards now reflect the strength and self-awareness you've cultivated. Being clear about your standards doesn't require you to explain them in detail. In fact, your actions often speak louder than any explanation ever could. How you respond or choose not to respond sets the tone. For instance, if someone tries to re-enter your life but offers only vague apologies or half-hearted efforts, your response can communicate volumes. By holding firm to your boundaries, you show that you value sincerity, effort, and mutual respect. There may be moments when standing by your standards feels difficult. Perhaps the other person tries to appeal to your emotions or uses charm to bypass the boundaries you've set. In these moments, it's crucial to remind yourself of why those standards exist in the first place. They are there to protect your peace, your dignity, and your well-being. Lowering them for temporary comfort or out of fear of losing someone will only lead to regret. It's important to recognize that being clear about your standards is not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about having a strong sense of self-worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Clarity doesn't mean shutting people out, it means inviting only those who align with your values into your life. It's about creating a space where respect, honesty, and growth can thrive. When you uphold your standards, you send a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. You affirm that you are worthy of love and respect, and you set the expectation for how others should treat you. You also teach others how to approach you, not by demanding their compliance, but by demonstrating through your actions that you are serious about your boundaries. Your standards are a reflection of your self-love. They are not a wall to keep people out, but a guide for bringing the right people in. By being clear about what you stand for, you ensure that every interaction, every relationship, and every decision you make is aligned with the person you've worked so hard to become. Don't compromise. Stand firm in your truth and watch as the world begins to respect and reflect the strength within you. Growth is a deliberate choice, one that often comes with discomfort and the temptation to retreat into familiar patterns. Old habits, even those that once hurt you or held you back, can feel deceptively safe because they're known, predictable, and easy to slip into. But true growth demands more. It requires you to resist the gravitational pull of your past and step boldly into a new version of yourself, even when it feels unfamiliar or challenging. When someone contacts you, especially someone tied to a part of your life you've worked hard to move beyond, the opportunity to fall back into old patterns is at its peak. Perhaps it's the way they talk, the memories they evoke, or the emotional attachment you still feel. These triggers can be powerful, drawing you toward behaviors you thought you'd outgrown. But growth is not just about leaving the past behind, it's about proving to yourself time and time again that you are capable of more, that you deserve better, and that you are no longer defined by who you used to be. It's important to recognize the allure of old patterns for what it is: a desire for comfort and familiarity. Humans are creatures of habit, and our minds often default to what feels safe, even if that safety is an illusion. But just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's right for you. Growth happens when you step outside that comfort zone and choose a path that aligns with the person you're becoming, not the person you were. One of the first steps in avoiding old patterns is awareness. Pay attention to your triggers, the words, actions, or situations that make you want to revert to old habits. Once you identify these triggers, you can approach them with intention rather than reaction. For instance, if someone's words stir up feelings of self-doubt, pause before responding. Remind yourself of the strength you've built and the lessons you've learned. By recognizing the pull of old patterns, you gain the power to resist them. Another key aspect is setting boundaries, not just with others, but with yourself. Boundaries are a declaration of what you will and will not tolerate, and they serve as a shield against behaviors or relationships that no longer serve you. When you feel the urge to fall back into an old dynamic, Remind yourself of the boundaries you've established. Ask yourself, does this align with the life I'm building? If the answer is no, hold the line, even when it's hard. Growth also requires a willingness to sit with discomfort. Choosing better often feels unfamiliar and awkward at first, because it challenges the deeply ingrained habits of the past. For example, saying no when you're used to saying yes can feel uncomfortable. Standing firm in your boundaries when someone pushes against them can feel isolating. But these moments of discomfort are where real growth happens. They are proof that you're breaking free from the patterns that once held you back. It's equally important to replace old patterns with new, healthier ones. Growth isn't just about saying no to the past, it's about saying yes to a better future. Create habits that reflect the life you want to live and the person you want to be. Whether it's practicing self-care, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, or pursuing goals that align with your values, these new patterns will gradually become your default. That growth is a process, not a destination. You may stumble along the way, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving forward, learning from each step, and refusing to let setbacks define you. Every time you resist the pull of old patterns, you reinforce your strength and commitment to a better version of yourself. Growth is about choosing yourself. It's about honoring the work you've done, the lessons you've learned, and the potential you hold. Don't let the comfort of old patterns rob you of the life you're capable of creating. You are no longer the person who settled for less, who accepted mistreatment, or who doubted their own worth. Embrace the discomfort of growth, and trust that the new patterns you're building will lead you to a life far greater than anything the past could ever offer. Confidence is a quiet strength, a steady force that speaks volumes without the need for excessive words or actions. It doesn't beg for attention or validation, it simply is. When someone contacts you, especially in moments where emotions might run high or stakes feel significant, staying confident and composed is your most powerful response. It shows that you know your worth, value your peace, and refuse to be swayed by external pressures or uncertainties. Confidence is not about arrogance or putting on a facade of superiority. It's about being secure in who you are and in the choices you've made. It's about showing the world and yourself that you don't need to overcompensate or act out of desperation to prove your value. Desperation, on the other hand, sends the opposite message. It implies a lack of control, a lack of self-assurance, and a fear of losing something or someone. But here's the truth: what is meant for you will never require you to chase it. Composure is an extension of confidence. It's the ability to remain calm and deliberate, even in situations that might provoke anxiety or uncertainty. People often mistake composure for indifference, but it's much more than that. It's a reflection of inner strength and self-control. By staying composed, you show that you're not easily rattled or swayed by circumstances. You convey that you're in charge of your emotions and that you won't let anyone else dictate your state of mind. Confidence is also about boundaries. When you know your worth, you won't allow others to overstep or treat you in ways that undermine your dignity. Staying confident and composed means holding firm to those boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or when others try to test them. For instance, if someone contacts you with half-hearted intentions or vague apologies, your confident response might be to require clarity or to take a step back altogether. Your composure in those moments shows that you respect yourself enough to demand more. Desperation, by contrast, comes from a place of fear of rejection, fear of loss, or fear of being alone. But confidence knows that rejection is not a reflection of your value, and being alone is not a punishment but an opportunity for growth. When you respond from a place of confidence, you radiate a sense of abundance, showing that you don't need anyone or anything to complete you. This doesn't mean you don't care, it means you value yourself enough to wait for what aligns with your standards. Staying confident and composed also involves listening more than you speak. Often when emotions run high, the impulse is to over-explain, justify, or fill silences with words. But silence, when paired with confidence, can be incredibly powerful. It gives you the space to think, to process, and to respond thoughtfully, rather than reactively. It also shows the other person that you're not in a rush to prove anything. Your confidence speaks for itself. In the moments where your confidence is tested, remind yourself of the bigger picture. This interaction, this conversation, this decision, it's all part of a larger journey. Staying composed doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, it means channeling them in a way that serves your growth rather than undermines it. Confidence is about showing up authentically, knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. Confidence is a choice you make every day. It's choosing to believe in yourself even when doubt creeps in. It's choosing to value your peace over temporary satisfaction. And it's choosing to respond to life's challenges with grace and dignity. When you stay confident and composed, you not only command respect from others, but also deepen the respect you have for yourself. You become a living example of strength, self-assurance, and quiet power, and that speaks louder than desperation ever could. Value is not something you declare, it's something you demonstrate. The way you carry yourself, the standards you set, and the actions you take all reflect how much you value yourself. When someone seeks to re-enter your life, it's essential to make it clear, not just through words but through your behavior, that access to you is a privilege, not a right. Letting someone earn their way back into your life isn't about playing games or withholding affection. It's about honoring the person you've become and ensuring that any relationship moving forward is built on mutual respect and effort. When you value yourself, you naturally set a standard for how others should treat you. You no longer settle for half measures, vague promises, or inconsistent behavior. Instead, you require consistency, clarity, and commitment before opening the door to someone who once had access to your heart. This doesn't mean you're unforgiving or closed off. It means you've learned the importance of protecting your peace and prioritizing your self-worth. Making someone earn their way back starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're guidelines that show others how to engage with you respectfully. If someone reaches out, assess their intentions. Are they coming back with genuine effort? Or are they testing the waters to see if they still have a hold on you? Be discerning. People who truly value you will respect your boundaries and put in the effort to show they're serious. Those who don't will reveal themselves quickly when faced with your firm but respectful standards. This is not a time for quick decisions or rushing back into old dynamics. Take the time to observe their actions, not just their words. Words can be easy, but consistent, thoughtful actions take effort. Are they showing up for you in a meaningful way? Are they respecting the growth you've achieved? Making someone earn access to you again means giving them the opportunity to prove their intentions through their behavior, not just their promises. It's equally important to focus on yourself during this time. When someone reappears, it can be tempting to shift your energy toward them, trying to analyze their motives or figure out where things stand. But the real work lies in continuing to prioritize your own growth and happiness. When you pour into yourself, whether through pursuing your passions, deepening your relationships with others, or practicing self-care, you reinforce the message that your world doesn't revolve around anyone else. This not only strengthens your sense of self, but also shows the other person that you are whole on your own. Letting someone earn access to you again is also about recognizing your own power. You are the gatekeeper of your life, and you get to decide who enters and stays. This isn't about control, it's about choice. You've worked hard to grow, heal, and become the person you are today. That work deserves to be protected. If someone wants to be a part of your life, they must align with the person you've become, not the person you used to be. Resist the urge to make it easy for them. Sometimes, out of a desire for reconciliation or closure, we give too much too soon. We accept apologies without seeing change, or we fall back into familiar patterns because they feel comfortable. But growth is about moving forward, not backward. By requiring someone to earn their place in your life, you're not being difficult or unkind, you're being intentional. You're showing that you value yourself enough to require more. This process is not about punishment, it's about respect for yourself and for the relationship you deserve. When you make someone earn access to you again, you set the foundation for a healthier dynamic. You're not settling for breadcrumbs or empty promises. You're inviting them to rise to meet you where you are. And if they're unwilling or unable to do so, you know that your worth is not diminished. You can walk away with your dignity intact, knowing that you chose yourself over anything less than you deserve. Making someone earn access to you again is an act of self-love. It's a declaration that you will no longer accept less than you are worth. It's a commitment to honoring your growth and ensuring that anyone who enters your life adds to it rather than diminishes it. When you hold yourself to this standard, you create space for relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, effort, and authenticity, and those are the only relationships worth having. In conclusion, making someone earn access to you again is not about punishment or playing games. It's about recognizing your own worth and ensuring that any relationship in your life aligns with the person you've become. By setting clear boundaries, observing actions over words, and continuing to invest in your own growth, you demonstrate to the world that your peace, time, and energy are not to be taken for granted. When you value yourself, you naturally set the standard for how others should treat you, and those who truly value you will respect that. This is an act of self-respect and self-love, and it is the foundation for healthier, more authentic relationships moving forward. Thank you for listening and reflecting on this message. Your journey toward valuing yourself and making others earn their place in your life is a powerful one, and I believe in your ability to continue building a life that reflects your worth.
Imagine a force so powerful, so magnetic, that it can draw everything you desire into your life effortlessly. It's not something external. It's not something you need to find. It's already within you, waiting to be activated. What if I told you that the reality you experience is not fixed, but shaped entirely by how you think, feel, and act? This speech is about unlocking a mindset so potent, it changes the trajectory of your life. This isn't just about hope or wishing, it's about becoming the very thing that attracts miracles, just like a magnet draws metal. Right now you might be wondering, is this really possible for me? The answer is an undeniable yes. But to tap into this, you must act as if you are a magnet to miracles. Every thought, every belief, and every action must align with the outcome you desire, as if it's already yours. When you embody this principle, life starts to shift. Coincidences become frequent. Doors open without you knocking. People, opportunities, and resources seem to find their way to you effortlessly. What I am about to share with you is not a fairy tale. It's a proven formula. But there's a catch: you must commit to changing the way you perceive your reality. You must stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and begin seeing yourself as the creator of your destiny. Are you ready to take that leap? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you're stuck? Like no matter how hard you try, things just don't work out? You pour your energy into your dreams, you pray, you work harder than ever, and yet the results don't match your effort. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if the problem isn't that your dreams are too big or that you're doing something wrong? What if the problem is that you've been trying too hard to make things happen, instead of stepping into the truth that everything you want is already on its way to you? Pause for a moment and consider this. What if I told you that your desires are not random? That the things you want are not a coincidence, but a signal, a sign that they are meant for you. But here's the twist: to receive them, you must stop chasing them. Instead, you must become the kind of person who naturally attracts them. Picture this. A magnet doesn't chase metal. It simply exists, and by its very nature, it draws what it needs. What if you could do the same? What if you could step into a mindset where miracles aren't the exception but the rule? This is not a theory. It's not wishful thinking. It's a truth that has transformed the lives of countless people who dared to embrace it. And today I will show you how to embody this truth for yourself. But let me warn you, this requires a shift in how you see the world, and more importantly, how you see yourself. This is not for the faint of heart. If you're tired of waiting for miracles and ready to become a magnet to them, then stay with me. Because by the end of this speech, you won't just believe in miracles, you'll become the magnet that draws them into your life. Imagine living each day with the unwavering confidence that everything you desire is already on its way to you. This is not a fleeting hope or a wishful thought, it is a state of being, a way of life. When you act as if you are a magnet to miracles, you align your entire existence with the belief that miracles are not rare occurrences but natural outcomes of your inner alignment. This powerful shift in perspective has the ability to transform your reality. Every thought you think, every word you speak, and every action you take carries energy. This energy either attracts or repels the outcomes you seek. Think of your thoughts as signals you send out into the world. When your mind is focused on lack, worry, or doubt, you are unconsciously pushing away the very things you want. But when your thoughts are anchored in faith, gratitude, and expectation, you become like a magnet, naturally drawing what you desire into your life. Acting as if you are a magnet to miracles begins with your beliefs. If you believe that miracles are distant, difficult, or only available to others, that belief will shape your experience. However, if you choose to believe that miracles are abundant and that you are worthy of them, your entire vibration shifts. This isn't about pretending or forcing positivity. It's about embodying a deep inner knowing that the life you dream of is not only possible but already unfolding. Your words are equally important. Words have creative power. They shape your reality by reinforcing your beliefs. When you speak in ways that affirm scarcity or doubt, you create barriers to your magnetism. Saying things like, "I don't think it will happen," or "I hope it works out," signals uncertainty to the universe. Instead, use words that reflect confidence and certainty. Speak as though the miracle is already yours. Say, "I am grateful for the abundance in my life," or "everything I need comes to me effortlessly." These statements are not just affirmations, they are declarations of your truth. Rejection is the final, crucial piece of this alignment. Acting as if you are a magnet to miracles doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to fall into place. It means taking inspired action that aligns with your belief in the inevitable success of your desires. For example, if you are seeking financial prosperity, don't dwell on thoughts of lack. Instead, take actions that reflect abundance. Treat yourself with dignity, invest in your growth, and manage your finances with care and optimism. If you're pursuing a dream career, act as though the opportunities are already on their way to you. Prepare, plan, and show up with confidence, knowing that the doors will open at the right time. A key aspect of acting as if you are a magnet to miracles is learning to let go of the how. Your job is not to control every detail or force things to happen. A magnet doesn't strain to attract, it simply exerts its natural force, and the right elements come to it. Similarly, when you focus on the outcome with unwavering faith, you allow the process to unfold. Trust that the path will reveal itself. Release the need to know every step and instead focus on the certainty of the destination. It's also important to cultivate a state of gratitude as you align with miracles. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier of your magnetic energy. When you appreciate what you already have, you create space for more blessings to flow into your life. Begin and end each day by reflecting on the miracles that are already present, both big and small. This simple practice strengthens your belief in your own magnetism and keeps you aligned with the energy of abundance. Living as if you are a magnet to miracles is not about denial or delusion. It's about choosing to focus your attention and energy on what you want to create rather than what you fear or lack. It's about stepping into your power as a creator of your reality. When your thoughts, words, and actions are in harmony with this belief, you become a force that draws the extraordinary into your life with ease. This way of living requires faith, persistence, and a willingness to let go of old patterns of doubt. But as you practice it, you'll begin to see shifts. You'll notice synchronicities, opportunities, and solutions appearing seemingly out of nowhere. These are not coincidences, they are the result of your alignment. When you embody the belief that you are a magnet to miracles, the world around you will start to reflect that truth back to you. Gratitude is a powerful force that can shift your entire reality. It is not just a feeling, but a vibration, a frequency that you emit to the universe. When you express gratitude, whether silently in your heart or out loud, you are sending out a signal that you are open and ready to receive. It's an acknowledgement that you are not only thankful for what you have, but also for what is on its way. Gratitude doesn't just reflect what you currently have, it expands your capacity to attract even more. One of the key reasons gratitude is so potent is because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you are caught in a mindset of scarcity, believing that there's never enough, that you don't have what you need, or that things aren't going your way, you are creating an energetic block that repels what you desire. But when you choose to focus on what you do have, you open yourself to receiving more of the same. Gratitude, in its essence, is a declaration that you trust the flow of life and that you acknowledge the blessings already present in your life. This trust acts as a magnet, pulling in the very things you are grateful for and amplifying them. When you start practicing gratitude, it immediately shifts your mindset and energy. Think about how you feel when you receive a gift from someone. You feel warmth, appreciation, and joy. This feeling isn't just tied to the physical gift, but also the emotional connection it represents. In the same way, when you express gratitude for what you have, your home, your relationships, your health, or even small moments of beauty, you begin to recognize the abundance that already exists in your life. The more you acknowledge this abundance, the more it expands. The universe responds to this vibration by bringing more of what you are thankful for into your experience. Gratitude is also a form of alignment with your desires. By being grateful for what you already have, you align your energy with the frequency of receiving more. It's like creating a powerful magnet within you that draws in the things you are thankful for. You might think of it as pre-paving the path for future blessings. When you can express gratitude not only for your current reality, but also for the blessings that are on their way, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. This is an invitation for more miracles to manifest in your life, and the universe, in turn, responds by orchestrating opportunities, people, and events that align with your newfound vibration of gratitude. This alignment doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistency and a conscious effort to focus on gratitude, especially during times when you may not feel like there's much to be thankful for. Gratitude is a practice that grows stronger the more you use it. Even in challenging moments, if you can find something to be grateful for, no matter how small, you are shifting your perspective. Perhaps it's the lesson you're learning, the strength you are discovering within yourself, or the support you receive from others. Gratitude allows you to see beyond the surface and uncover the deeper blessings that are always present, waiting to be recognized. Gratitude fosters an energetic openness that invites miracles into your life. When you are grateful, you are in a state of receiving. The universe is always seeking to give to you, but it requires an open channel. If you are constantly focused on what's missing or what's wrong, that channel is closed. Gratitude opens it wide, allowing new opportunities, resources, and experiences to flow into your life. The more you express gratitude, the more the universe responds by sending you what you need and desire. As you begin to practice gratitude daily, you'll notice that the universe starts to reflect back your abundance. You might notice synchronicities, unexpected gifts, and people who come into your life offering assistance or opportunities. These aren't coincidences, they are the results of the energy you've cultivated through your gratitude practice. When you act as though you are already abundant, the universe responds with more abundance. When you act as though you already have everything you need, the universe provides you with more reasons to be grateful. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for maintaining alignment with your highest desires. By staying focused on what you have and what you're grateful for, you naturally raise your vibration, allowing you to remain in a state of receptivity. This state of constant thankfulness allows you to live your life with a deep sense of trust and belief that everything you need is already on its way. It's a reminder that the universe is always working in your favor, orchestrating the perfect events, people, and opportunities to help you fulfill your dreams. When you anchor yourself in gratitude, you become a magnet for miracles, and the universe begins to deliver in ways you never imagined. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools you can use to manifest the life you desire. It's not just about imagining your goals and dreams, but truly feeling them as if they are happening right now. When you close your eyes and picture yourself living the life you desire, you're not simply creating a mental image, you're aligning your emotions with your vision. This is the key to making your dreams a reality. The emotions you generate during this visualization are the fuel for your magnet, drawing your desires into your life. The first step in this process is to really see yourself. Imagine the details. What does your ideal life look like? Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? The more specific you can be, the more vivid your visualization will become. As you picture your life as you want it to be, allow yourself to step fully into the experience. Visualize the sights, the sounds, the smells. Make it as real as possible in your mind. Picture yourself walking through your dream house, driving the car you've always wanted, or having a conversation with people who inspire you. The power of visualization lies in your ability to create an immersive sensory experience that feels real. But the true magic happens when you add emotion to this visualization. You are not just seeing yourself in your desired life, you are feeling the joy, peace, excitement, and gratitude as though it's already yours. Emotions are the energy that fuel your intentions. They elevate your vibration and send a powerful signal to the universe. When you attach emotion to your vision, you are no longer just hoping for the best, you are embodying the outcome, as if it's already a part of your reality. This is the secret to activating the law of attraction. Imagine the rush of excitement you would feel as you stand at the top of a mountain, knowing you have reached your goal. Feel the joy in your heart as you receive the recognition or success you've worked so hard for. Let that feeling of pride and satisfaction wash over you. Or perhaps it's peace and serenity you seek. Picture yourself sitting by the ocean, feeling the cool breeze, and hearing the sound of the waves as you bask in the fulfillment of your desires. Whatever emotions resonate with you, make them as real and vivid as possible. Emotion is the bridge between your current reality and your desired one. It creates a magnetic force that draws your dreams toward you. When you feel the joy of your success now, you are sending out the vibration of that success. You are telling the universe, this is who I am, this is what I have. I am already living this life. The more you can embody the feeling of having what you desire, the more the universe responds. It's like planting a seed and nurturing it with your emotions, allowing it to grow and blossom into reality. But you must also learn to trust this process. It may feel strange at first to visualize your dream life and feel the emotions connected to it. You might wonder if it's too good to be true, or if it's really possible. This is where faith comes in. Trust that the universe is listening and working behind the scenes to bring your desires to fruition. When you visualize the end with emotion, you are creating an energetic alignment with your future self. This energy will begin to attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with the life you've imagined. The visualization works because it rewires your subconscious mind. When you consistently practice seeing and feeling your desires as already fulfilled, you start to believe that they are possible. This belief shifts your actions and decisions, leading you to take inspired steps toward your goals. It also alters your perception of reality, allowing you to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. The more you practice visualizing the end with emotion, the more naturally these opportunities will appear in your life. Emotions are the language of the universe, and the more you can feel the emotion of your success, the more magnetic you become. Visualization is not a passive activity. It requires your full participation and dedication. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire. Feel it deeply in your heart, and trust that as you do, you are already drawing it to you. This practice is the fuel that powers your magnet, turning your dreams into reality. The way you speak has a profound impact on the direction of your life. Your words are not simply expressions of thought, they are powerful instruments that shape your reality. Each time you speak, You are broadcasting an energetic signal to the universe, a reflection of your beliefs, and a declaration of your intentions. This is why it is essential to speak with certainty, not doubt. The language you use influences the way you see the world and how the world responds to you. Words like I hope or I wish are expressions of uncertainty, and they signal to the universe that you are not fully confident in your ability to manifest your desires. When you use these phrases, you create a gap between what you want and what you believe is possible. On the other hand, speaking with certainty aligns your words with your intentions. When you say I am, I have, or it's done, you are declaring without hesitation or reservation that the life you desire is already in motion. These statements of certainty affirm your belief that your desires are already yours, that you are worthy of them, and that they are inevitable. The universe responds to certainty with action. When you speak with confidence, you begin to attract opportunities, resources, and circumstances that align with the energy of certainty you've put out into the world. Think about how you feel when you hear someone speak with confidence. You instinctively trust them more. Their words have a weight, a sense of conviction that draws you in. This is the same effect your words can have on the universe. When you declare something with certainty, the universe doesn't question it. It doesn't wonder whether it's possible or not, it simply responds to the energy you've put forth. The more certain you are in your words, the more quickly your desires begin to manifest. Let's take a closer look at how eliminating doubt from your language shifts your reality. When you say things like I hope or I wish, you're leaving room for uncertainty. These phrases carry a sense of longing, of wanting something but not fully believing that it's possible. They imply that the desired outcome is still a distant dream, something that may or may not happen. But when you replace these phrases with statements like I am, you are making a bold declaration that you already embody the qualities or experiences you desire. You are aligning yourself with the energy of success, abundance, or love, and in doing so, you invite these things into your life. I am is one of the most powerful statements you can make. When you say I am successful, I am wealthy, or I am healthy, you are not merely wishing for these things to happen. You are claiming them as part of your current reality. You are declaring to the universe that you are already living the life you desire. This shifts your energy from a place of lack or longing to a place of abundance and certainty. The more you speak with this level of certainty, the more your subconscious mind begins to accept these affirmations as truths. This in turn alters your actions, thoughts, and decisions, creating a pathway for your desires to manifest. I have is another powerful phrase that speaks to ownership. When you say I have a successful business or I have a loving partner, you are affirming that these things are already part of your life. This sense of ownership creates a deep sense of gratitude and alignment with what you desire. It is a declaration of abundance, signaling that you are already in possession of everything you need to create your ideal life. The universe, seeing your belief in your own power, works in harmony with your confidence to bring these things into your reality. And perhaps the most powerful phrase of all is it's done when you speak these words, you are closing the door on doubt. You are saying that your desire is already a reality, even if your physical circumstances haven't fully caught up yet. It's done affirms that the universe has already begun to bring your dreams to life, and all you need to do is stay aligned with that truth. By speaking these words with absolute certainty, you send out an unshakable message to the universe that you trust in its ability to deliver on your desires. In order to speak with certainty, you must first cultivate a deep belief in your own power. The words you speak are a reflection of your inner confidence. When you believe that your desires are already yours, your words will naturally reflect that belief. This alignment between thought, word, and action is what creates the conditions for miracles to happen. So, eliminate phrases of doubt from your vocabulary. Stop saying I hope or I wish and replace them with powerful affirmations of certainty. Speak as though everything you desire is already on its way. Declare your dreams with confidence and trust that the universe will respond accordingly. When you speak with certainty, You activate the energy needed to bring your dreams to life, and the universe has no choice but to deliver. Your words carry power, use them wisely, and watch your reality shift in response. Doubts and fears are among the most insidious forces that can prevent your desires from manifesting. They act as invisible walls, blocking the natural flow of energy that draws what you want toward you. When you entertain doubts or allow fear to dictate your thoughts, you are essentially creating resistance. Resistance comes in many forms, but at its core, it is the belief that something you desire is unattainable or out of your control. This belief creates an energetic blockage that disrupts the magnetic force you are trying to cultivate. To eliminate resistance, the first step is to acknowledge that it exists and recognize its role in your life. Many people are unaware of how often they give in to doubt or fear. They may have a deep desire for success, love, or abundance, but their internal narrative is filled with questions like, what if it doesn't work, or am I really capable of achieving this? These thoughts create friction, pulling you away from your true potential. You must understand that resistance does not come from external forces, it arises from within you. When you are uncertain about your desires or fear that they won't materialize, you are doubting your ability to attract them. In these moments, you are disconnected from the natural flow of life, from the understanding that the universe is abundant and willing to give you everything you ask for. Fear and doubt may feel like protective mechanisms, but they are actually the very things keeping you from achieving your dreams. The solution to this is to release the need for control. When you try to micromanage every detail of how your desires will manifest, you are imposing limits on the infinite possibilities available to you. You may think that you know the best way to bring your dreams to life, but the truth is, the universe often has a better plan in store. When you try to force the process, you inadvertently close the door to better opportunities. The more you try to control the how, the more you feed the energy of resistance. Trust the process. Let go of the need to control every aspect of your journey. Understand that the universe is always working in your favor, even when you can't see the results right away. Your job is not to figure out the how, but to stay aligned with your desires and allow the universe to unfold the path that will bring them to you. This doesn't mean you should sit back passively and wait for things to happen. It means you should act from a place of certainty, knowing that what you seek is already on its way. When you eliminate resistance, you allow the energy of your desires to flow freely toward you. You stop sabotaging your progress by questioning whether it will work. You stop doubting your worthiness or your ability to receive. Instead, you become a clear conduit for your desires to enter your life. This shift in mindset is crucial because it removes the blocks that have been holding you back. Resistance can come in many forms. It may manifest as impatience, fear of failure, or the belief that you don't deserve success. Regardless of how it appears, the key is to release it. A powerful practice for releasing resistance is to focus on the present moment. Often doubts and fears arise when we worry about the future or regret the past. By anchoring yourself in the present, you free yourself from the grip of these negative emotions. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that right now, in this very moment, everything is as it should be. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be on your journey. Another way to eliminate resistance is through affirmations. Use statements that reinforce your belief in the process, such as everything is working out for me, or I trust the universe to bring me what I need. Repeat these affirmations daily to retrain your mind to focus on what you want rather than what you fear. Let go of the idea that you must suffer or struggle to achieve your desires. Resistance often arises from the belief that success is hard-earned or that obstacles must be overcome at great personal cost. But this belief is limiting. The truth is, success and fulfillment can flow effortlessly when you align yourself with the flow of life. When you stop resisting and allow things to unfold naturally, you create space for miracles to occur. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your mindset, energy, and ultimately the reality you experience. Just like a magnet can lose its charge if exposed to certain forces, you too can lose your vibrational power if you are surrounded by negativity or people who do not support your vision. Your energy is malleable, and the people and environments you engage with have a profound effect on your ability to attract the life you desire. In order to remain magnetic to miracles, it is essential to curate your surroundings intentionally, making sure they nurture and uplift you. The first step in surrounding yourself with positivity is becoming aware of the energy you are currently absorbing. Take a moment to evaluate the people you interact with, the spaces you occupy, and the media you consume. Are these influences energizing you or draining you? It's easy to underestimate the impact of your surroundings, but everything you experience feeds into your subconscious mind, which in turn shapes your actions, beliefs, and outcomes. If you are constantly exposed to negativity, whether it's toxic people, pessimistic environments, or fear-driven content, it will be difficult to maintain a mindset of abundance, joy, and positivity. To attract miracles, you must align yourself with energy that supports these aspirations. One of the most powerful steps you can take is to surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. People have a magnetic influence, and the energy they bring into your life can either propel you toward your dreams or keep you stuck in a cycle of doubt and fear. Spend time with those who believe in you and your potential. Surround yourself with people who are positive, encouraging, and supportive of your journey. These individuals will help reinforce your belief in miracles, reminding you that anything is possible. Their energy will fuel your own, keeping you aligned with the highest version of yourself. Equally important is the space you inhabit. The physical environment you surround yourself with can have a direct impact on your mental and emotional well-being. A cluttered, chaotic space can create a sense of overwhelm and drain your energy, while a clean, organized, and harmonious environment can promote clarity and focus. Design your space to reflect the life you want to create. Fill it with things that inspire you: books, artwork, objects that evoke a sense of joy and possibility. Your environment should be a sanctuary, a place where you feel safe, nurtured, and supported in your pursuits. When you are in a space that feels good, your energy rises and you become a stronger magnet to the miracles you desire. In addition to the people you spend time with and the spaces you occupy, the content you consume also plays a significant role in shaping your mindset. What you watch, read, and listen to can either elevate your energy or pull you down into negativity. Choose media that aligns with your vision and helps you stay focused on what you want to create. Seek out content that motivates, inspires, and educates you. Whether it's a podcast that fuels your passion, a book that expands your perspective, or a social media feed filled with positivity, make sure that the content you consume supports your growth. The more you feed your mind with positivity, the more your energy will align with the abundance and miracles you are trying to attract. Surrounding yourself with positivity does not mean avoiding difficult emotions or challenging situations. It's about creating a foundation of support and resilience that allows you to face life's challenges with strength and clarity. Positive environments and people don't mean that everything is always perfect, but they provide the necessary support to help you bounce back from adversity quickly and maintain focus on your goals. Positivity helps you stay grounded in your vision, even when life presents obstacles. It's about choosing to stay in alignment with your desired outcome, no matter what external circumstances arise. To stay magnetic to miracles, it's also important to be mindful of your own energy. Take responsibility for your own vibrational state, recognizing that you have the power to raise your frequency through your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Choose to focus on what you want, not what you fear. Practice gratitude daily, and remember that the more you cultivate a sense of appreciation for what you have, the more you will attract. Embrace self-care rituals that keep your energy high, whether it's through meditation, exercise, creative expression, or spending time in nature. Your energy is your most powerful asset, and when you protect it by surrounding yourself with positivity, you strengthen your magnetism. When you surround yourself with positivity, you align with the frequency of miracles. You create a field of energy that attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that support your desires. The more you immerse yourself in environments and relationships that uplift and inspire you, the stronger your ability to manifest will become. By making the conscious decision to surround yourself with positive influences, you are actively choosing to reinforce your belief in miracles and opening yourself up to the abundant possibilities that life has to offer. Let positivity be the foundation upon which you build your dream life and watch as miracles begin to unfold. Magnetism does not waver in the face of obstacles, delays, or moments of uncertainty. It remains constant, anchored in a deep, unshakable belief that the desires you seek are already making their way to you, even if there is no outward sign of progress. True magnetism is about unwavering faith, a trust that the universe is always working in your favor, regardless of external circumstances. The key to activating and maintaining this magnetic force is to persist in your faith, even when everything seems to be moving slowly or nothing seems to be happening at all. One of the most powerful aspects of this persistent faith is the ability to trust in the unseen. Often when we don't see immediate results or when things aren't happening the way we expect them to, we can feel discouraged. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that nothing is working, but this is where your faith is truly tested. This is when the real magic begins, when you continue to trust in the process, even when there is no tangible evidence of your desires manifesting. Trusting that your miracle is already on its way requires you to let go of the need to control the how, when, and where of your manifestation. These details are beyond your reach. Your job is not to figure out how your desires will come to fruition, but to stay aligned with your vision, acting, thinking, and feeling as though it has already been done. This means continuing to walk in faith, even in the absence of immediate results. Your faith does not rely on what you see with your physical eyes, but rather on your inner knowing that what you desire is already on its way. One of the challenges of maintaining faith during these quiet or uncertain moments is the human tendency to doubt. We live in a world that often values instant results and immediate gratification, but the law of attraction and manifestation does not work on a timeline that you can control. This requires a shift in perspective. When you persist in faith, you are essentially declaring that your desire is inevitable. It doesn't matter if it takes days, weeks, or months to materialize, the outcome is already assured because you are in alignment with it. You must learn to trust that the universe operates on its own timeline, one that is perfect and always in your favor. In moments of silence, when things seem to stand still, it is important to remember that energy is always in motion. Even if you cannot see the physical evidence of your desires unfolding, this doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Just as a seed grows underground before it pushes through the soil, your desires are being nurtured in unseen ways. During these times, it is essential to stay connected to your vision and continue to nurture your belief. Keep visualizing the outcome you desire. Keep acting as though it is already a reality, and continue to speak as though it has already happened. Faith is not just about waiting passively for something to happen, it is about embodying the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled. When you persist in faith, you carry yourself with the confidence and certainty that the universe is working in your favor. Even in moments of stillness, you know deep in your heart that your miracle is on its way. This persistent faith is magnetic because it signals to the universe that you are certain, unshakable, and open to receiving. It aligns you with the flow of abundance, knowing that what is meant for you will come to you at the perfect time. This faith does not mean that you stop taking inspired action. In fact, it amplifies it. When you are confident in the outcome and trust that your desires are already being fulfilled, you will feel more empowered to take bold steps toward your goals. These actions come from a place of trust, rather than desperation, knowing that you are working in harmony with the universe, not against it. The universe is always in motion, and your actions, when fueled by faith, align you with its current. Persistence in faith also means not being disheartened by setbacks or delays. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your belief. Instead of questioning your worth or doubting the process, view these obstacles as part of the path leading to your miracle. They are not signs that your desire is not coming, they are simply the universe's way of guiding you to where you need to be. Every experience, every moment of silence is contributing to the unfolding of your dream. The power of unwavering faith lies in your ability to trust the process even when the external world doesn't reflect the manifestation you desire. You must continue to act, think, and feel as though your miracle is already here, knowing that the universe is always working behind the scenes to bring it into your life. Faith is the magnet that pulls your desires toward you, even in the moments when nothing seems to be happening. Trust that your miracle is on its way, and keep moving forward with the certainty that it is already done. In conclusion, becoming a magnet to miracles requires unwavering faith, consistent alignment with your desires, and an intentional focus on your thoughts, feelings, and actions. By embodying the belief that miracles are drawn to you, maintaining gratitude, visualizing with emotion, speaking with certainty, eliminating resistance, surrounding yourself with positivity, and persisting in faith, you create an unstoppable force that attracts the abundant life you desire. Remember, the universe is always working in your favor, and by trusting in the process, even when things seem still, you ensure that miracles are on their way to you. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this message. Keep believing, keep acting, and keep magnetizing the miracles that are destined for you. The life you desire is already on its way. Stay aligned and watch as it unfolds.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real tonight. What if the person you're thinking about day in and day out is also holding their silence? What if they too are doing no contact? How does that make you feel? Confused, frustrated, or maybe liberated? Here's the truth. No contact isn't a game, it's a stage for reflection, a stage for healing. But the problem is, too many of us treat it like a chess match. We sit there, staring at the board, waiting for their move. But I need you to understand, this isn't about their move, it's about yours. You see, silence isn't just absence, it's presence in another form. Silence is powerful. It's where the mind speaks what the mouth can't. And if he's silent too, that's not your cue to panic, that's your cue to focus. Focus on you. I know what you're thinking, but what if he never breaks the silence? What if he's forgotten about me? Let me tell you something, your worth doesn't shrink in someone else's absence. If he's also holding back, that's not a sign of rejection, that's a sign of respect. Respect for your space, your journey, your growth. But here's the kicker, don't get stuck in the waiting room. You have two choices. You can sit there, replaying every conversation, every mistake, or you can stand up, look in the mirror, and say, I'm not waiting for anyone to validate my value. When two people step back, it's not the distance that defines them, it's what they do with it. Are you growing, or are you shrinking? Because while you're sitting there asking, what if he's doing no contact too? You could be building something extraordinary yourself. Patience, my friends, isn't about sitting still. Patience is active. It's working on your mind, your body, your spirit, so that no matter what happens, whether he breaks the silence or stays away, you remain unshaken. So I'll leave you with this, don't ask what he's doing with his silence. Ask what you're doing with yours. Because when the silence breaks in it, will you want to meet them not as the person they left behind, but as the person they can't help but admire. No contact is often misunderstood. People see it as a strategy, a tool to manipulate emotions, or even a punishment for someone who's hurt them. But in its essence, no contact is not about retribution or gamesmanship, it's about growth and clarity for both you and the other person. When approached with the right mindset, it becomes a transformative process, a space where true understanding emerges, not just about the relationship, but about yourself. Imagine a garden overrun with weeds. The plants you want to flourish are choked by the overgrowth, and no amount of watering will bring them back to health unless you first clear the space. This is what no contact does, it clears the emotional clutter. It removes the distractions and external noise that often prevent us from seeing what is truly happening in our relationships and within ourselves. It's a pause, not a punishment. It's a reset, not revenge. But let's be clear, no contact is not easy. It's like holding up a mirror to your soul, forcing you to confront emotions you may have tried to avoid. The silence can feel deafening at first. You might find yourself questioning everything what you said, what they said, what you could have done differently. It's tempting to reach out, to fill the void with some form of connection, even if it's fleeting. But growth happens in the void. Clarity comes when you sit with the discomfort long enough to understand it. During no contact, emotions run high. Regret, anger, sadness, and even longing bubble to the surface. These emotions aren't here to torment you, they're here to teach you. They show you where your wounds are, what triggers you, and what you truly need. They reveal whether your desire to reconnect is rooted in love or simply in fear of being alone. And that's the clarity no contact provides. It forces you to distinguish between what's genuine and what's merely habitual. For the other person, no contact does the same. They too are left with their thoughts and emotions. Without the constant interaction, they are given the space to reflect on their own role in the relationship. Did they take you for granted? Did they fully appreciate what you brought into their life? Or perhaps they come to understand their own limitations, realizing that they couldn't meet your needs despite their best efforts. This mutual space of reflection can be incredibly powerful, even if it feels like nothing is happening on the surface. But here's where no contact becomes a double-edged sword. If used improperly, it can lead to bitterness and misunderstanding. If your intention is to win or make the other person feel guilty, the entire process becomes counterproductive. Growth and clarity can only emerge from authenticity. If you're secretly checking their social media, waiting for them to text, or hoping that your absence will make them chase you, you're still tethered to the relationship in a way that prevents true healing. No contact only works when you let go, not just of the person, but of the outcome. Clarity also doesn't always bring the answers you expect. Sometimes it reveals that the relationship wasn't as strong as you believed. It might show you that the connection was based more on need than on mutual respect and understanding. And that realization can hurt. But it's better to face the truth than to live in a cycle of doubt and insecurity. Clarity is a gift, even when it's painful, because it gives you the freedom to move forward with confidence. Growth, on the other hand, is the reward of enduring the process. When you stop focusing on what the other person is doing or feeling, you have the opportunity to turn inward. You rediscover your passions, your strengths, and your resilience. You learn to enjoy your own company, to find peace in solitude. You realize that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. And that's a powerful shift. It's not about becoming indifferent or unfeeling, it's about becoming whole. The beauty of no contact is that it doesn't require the other person's participation. Whether they choose to reflect and grow is up to them. What matters is what you do with the time and space you've been given. It's a chance to break old patterns, to redefine your boundaries, and to envision the kind of relationships you truly want in the future. No contact is an act of self-respect. It says, I value myself enough to step back and assess what's truly best for me. It's not a weapon to hurt someone else, it's a shield to protect your peace and foster your healing. And in doing so, it creates the possibility for something better, whether that's a renewed connection built on stronger foundations or the courage to walk away and embrace new opportunities. So while no contact may feel like a double-edged sword, it's one worth wielding. If used with intention and integrity, it cuts through the confusion, leaving behind a clearer, stronger version of yourself. And that clarity is worth every moment of silence. Silence is often misunderstood. To many, it feels like a void, a hollow space where nothing happens. But silence is far from empty, it is full of potential, a powerful space where emotions settle, thoughts realign, and priorities take shape. Silence speaks in ways that words often cannot. offering clarity and understanding if we are willing to listen. In silence, the mind begins to process what might otherwise be drowned out by noise. We live in a world that values constant communication, where every pause feels uncomfortable and every quiet moment begs to be filled. But when we embrace silence, we create room for reflection. In those moments, our deepest feelings rise to the surface, and we begin to understand them more clearly. It is in silence that we hear the whispers of our own hearts, unfiltered by the expectations and opinions of others. Silence can be intimidating. It feels like a confrontation with oneself, a mirror reflecting back thoughts and emotions we might prefer to ignore. But this confrontation is necessary. Silence allows us to face our fears, our doubts, and our insecurities. It doesn't rush us to fix them. It simply holds space for us to acknowledge their presence. In doing so, we begin to untangle the complexities of our inner world piece by piece. When silence occurs between people, it carries its own weight. It might feel awkward or uncomfortable, especially in relationships where communication is key. Yet, this kind of silence is not necessarily a sign of disconnect. Sometimes it is in the absence of words that we come to understand the depth of our emotions. Silence can convey what words fail to express: grief, love, regret, or hope. It allows emotions to be felt in their rawest form, unadorned by explanations or justifications. In relationships, silence can also be a period of reorganization. When two people take a step back and pause their interactions, it's not always an ending. Sometimes it's a recalibration. It's a chance for each individual to assess their feelings, their needs, and their boundaries. Silence creates the distance needed for self-discovery. It gives each person the opportunity to determine what truly matters, without the pressure of immediate response or resolution. The power of silence lies in its neutrality. It doesn't force conclusions or demand action. It simply exists, waiting for us to fill it with meaning. And that meaning often becomes clearer over time. In the noise of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what's important. Silence strips away the distractions, leaving us with the essence of our thoughts and emotions. It encourages us to prioritize, to let go of what no longer serves us and focus on what truly matters. In a world obsessed with constant connection, silence can feel like rejection. When someone we care about is silent, we might interpret it as indifference or anger. But silence doesn't always mean absence sometimes. It's a form of presence. It's a way of holding space for emotions that are too complex for words. It's a reminder that not every moment requires action or explanation. Silence can also be a gift to ourselves. It's in those quiet moments that we reconnect with who we are. We remember what we value, what we dream of, and what we stand for. Silence allows us to hear the voice within the one that gets drowned out by the world's demands. It's in silence that we find our strength, our purpose, and our peace. But silence is not just about introspection. It's also about creating space for growth. When we stop talking, we start listening, truly listening, not just to others, but to ourselves and to the world around us. We begin to notice things we might have overlooked: the beauty of a quiet sunrise, the rhythm of our breath, the stillness that brings calm to our chaotic minds. Silence is not something to be feared or avoided. It's a tool, a sanctuary, and a teacher. It challenges us to face ourselves and our truths. It encourages us to slow down, to reflect, and to realign. And when we emerge from silence, we do so with greater clarity, purpose, and strength. So, the next time you encounter silence, resist the urge to fill it. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it guide you to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Because silence is never empty, it is full of meaning, waiting to be discovered. Self-worth is the foundation of everything we do, yet it's often the first thing we compromise when faced with rejection, heartbreak, or uncertainty in relationships. It becomes easy to tie our value to someone else's actions, to their approval or attention. But self-worth is non-negotiable. It cannot be dictated by someone else's choices, and it should never be put on hold while you wait for someone else to decide your importance. No contact, at its core, is not about manipulation or strategy. It's not about waiting for someone else to notice your absence or make the next move. It's about reclaiming your power and recognizing that your worth doesn't depend on another person's validation. It's a time to shift the focus away from them and onto yourself, a time to nurture your sense of self-worth and remind yourself of the incredible value you bring to the table. Too often we give away our power in relationships subtly or overtly in the hope of being chosen or loved. We adjust our boundaries, compromise our needs, and silence our instincts, all to maintain a connection that may not be serving us. This is where the erosion of self-worth begins. It happens slowly, almost imperceptibly, until one day we look in the mirror and hardly recognize the person staring back. No contact is an opportunity to reverse that process, to stop the cycle of giving more than we receive, and to rebuild the foundation of who we are. Reclaiming your self-worth starts with understanding that you are enough, just as you are. You don't need someone else's presence to complete you, nor do you need their absence to define you. Your value is inherent, it exists, whether or not anyone else acknowledges it. This realization can be liberating, but it requires effort and intentionality, especially in the silence of no contact. The period of no contact is not passive. It's not about sitting by the phone, hoping they'll call, or refreshing your messages to see if they've reached out. That mindset keeps you tethered to their actions, allowing them to dictate your emotional state. Instead, no contact should be a time of active self-reflection and growth. It's a time to ask yourself important questions. Who am I when I'm not trying to please someone else? What do I want for my future? What makes me happy, independent of anyone else's influence? As you explore these questions, you begin to see that your self-worth is not conditional. It doesn't depend on whether someone chooses to be in your life or not. It doesn't hinge on their opinion of you or their willingness to meet your needs. Your worth is constant, unshakable, and entirely within your control. This is a powerful realization because it shifts the narrative. No longer are you the person waiting on someone else's actions, you become the person deciding your own destiny. Reclaiming your power also means redefining what you will and will not accept in relationships. No contact is a time to establish boundaries, not as a punishment to the other person, but as an act of self-respect. It's a chance to decide what behaviors you're willing to tolerate and what you absolutely will not. This clarity becomes a guiding principle, helping you navigate future interactions with confidence and self-assurance. One of the most transformative aspects of no contact is the way it highlights your inner strength. It's not easy to resist the urge to reach out, to fill the silence with words, or to seek reassurance from someone else. But every day that you choose yourself over the need for external validation, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you can stand on your own, that you are capable of creating happiness and fulfillment without relying on anyone else. This period of growth doesn't just benefit you, it transforms the energy you bring to all your relationships. When you know your worth, you stop settling for less. You attract people who respect and value you because you respect and value yourself. The energy shifts and suddenly you're no longer chasing love or approval. It comes to you naturally because of the confidence and self-respect you exude. Self-worth is not something you bargain with. It's not something you hand over to someone else hoping they'll protect it for you. It's yours to nurture, to guard, and to cherish. No contact is a way to reclaim that worth, to remind yourself that you are deserving of love, respect, and kindness, not because someone else says so, but because you say so. So as you navigate the silence of no contact, remember this: it's not about waiting for someone else's move. It's about making your own moves, rediscovering your power, and embracing the unshakable truth that your self-worth is, and always will be, non-negotiable. When two people engage in no contact simultaneously, it creates a space not of indifference, but of profound introspection. This phenomenon, often referred to as the mirror effect, serves as a reflection of the dynamic between the individuals. It's not just about absence, it's about mutual self-discovery, where both parties are given the time and silence needed to evaluate what truly matters in their lives and in their relationship. In relationships, emotions can become tangled. Words are exchanged, sometimes hastily or without clarity, and actions may not always align with intentions. When no contact begins, it presses pause on this cycle, offering a rare moment of stillness. If both individuals engage in no contact, it signifies a shared need for space to process these emotions and reflect on their feelings. This mutual silence is not a void but a fertile ground for growth and clarity. The mirror effect reveals that relationships are not merely about the other person, they are about the interplay between two individuals and their inner worlds. When both people step away, it allows them to view the relationship from a distance, gaining perspective on what was working, what wasn't, and what they truly value. This reflection often highlights the deeper dynamics at play, offering insights that are difficult to see amid constant interaction. No contact creates a paradox. The silence feels heavy, yet it carries the potential for transformation. When both parties choose this path, it often reflects an unspoken agreement, a recognition that clarity cannot emerge from noise. Instead of reacting impulsively, they allow the space for intentional thought. In this quiet, emotions that were once overwhelming begin to settle, and priorities start to realign. For the individuals involved, this time apart is as much about self-discovery as it is about evaluating the relationship. It challenges them to confront their feelings without the influence of the other person. Without daily communication, they are left with their thoughts, their hopes, and their fears. This solitude can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It forces them to ask themselves essential questions. What do I want from this relationship? How do I truly feel about the other person? Am I acting out of love, fear, or habit? In this mutual journey of self-discovery, the mirror effect comes into play. As each person reflects on themselves, they inevitably begin to understand the other more deeply. This isn't because they're communicating directly, but because the silence creates a space for empathy. They might consider the other person's perspective, acknowledging their emotions and struggles. This shift often fosters a deeper sense of compassion and understanding, even without words. The mirror effect also underscores the importance of balance in relationships. When two people are both doing no contact, it's a sign that they are giving equal weight to their need for clarity and growth. This balance is crucial because it ensures that neither party is dominating the emotional dynamic. Instead, they are both taking responsibility for their part in the relationship, whether that means recognizing mistakes, reevaluating priorities, or simply acknowledging the need for self-care. This process doesn't guarantee reconciliation, nor does it always lead to closure. The outcome of no contact varies, depending on the individuals and the circumstances. However, what it does guarantee is growth. By stepping away and reflecting on what truly matters, both people emerge with a better understanding of themselves and what they want in a relationship. Whether they come back together or move forward separately, they do so with greater clarity and purpose. The mirror effect also challenges us to recognize that relationships are not just about presence, they're about connection. And connection doesn't always require constant communication. Sometimes the strongest bonds are forged in silence, where mutual respect and understanding take root. When two people simultaneously engage in no contact, it can be a sign of this unspoken connection, a shared acknowledgement that growth and clarity must come first. The mirror effect is a reminder that no contact isn't just an act of withdrawal. It's an act of intention. It reflects a dynamic where both individuals are willing to confront themselves and their feelings honestly. They are not avoiding each other, but creating the space needed to grow, both individually and as potential partners. In this mutual silence, there is an opportunity for transformation. Each person has the chance to rediscover who they are, what they value, and what they truly want. And in doing so, they reflect this same process onto the other, creating a dynamic of mutual self-discovery. Whether this leads them back together or onto separate paths, the journey itself is invaluable. It's a testament to the power of introspection, the strength of silence, and the depth of relationships that go beyond words. Patience is a virtue often praised but seldom practiced, especially in matters of the heart. When emotions run high and uncertainty clouds judgment, the pull toward desperation can feel overwhelming. It's tempting to act, to say something, to do anything that might restore control or elicit a response. But desperation is a thief of clarity, a force that clouds judgment and leads to impulsive decisions that rarely serve our best interests. On the other hand, patience, the ability to wait with grace and trust, has the power to nurture wisdom, offering the clarity needed to discern what's real and what's worth holding on to. Desperation stems from fear of loss, rejection, or the unknown. It manifests as an urgent need to resolve uncertainty, often at the expense of reason and dignity. In moments of desperation, the mind fixates on worst-case scenarios, amplifying anxiety and driving actions that may push others away rather than bring them closer. A rushed message, a pleading call, or a gesture made in haste may feel cathartic in the moment, but it often serves as a bandage for deeper wounds that require introspection and time to heal. Patience, on the other hand, is rooted in trust in oneself, trust in the process, and trust in the timing of life. It requires discipline and self-restraint, qualities that can feel counterintuitive when emotions demand immediate resolution. But patience is not passive. It's an active choice to pause, reflect, and allow time to bring clarity. It's the recognition that answers often emerge not through force, but through stillness, when the noise of desperation has subsided and the truth can rise to the surface. When faced with uncertainty in a relationship or situation, patience creates a space for wisdom to grow. It allows you to step back and observe the bigger picture, free from the haze of heightened emotions. In this space, you can evaluate your feelings, intentions, and boundaries with greater objectivity. Are you acting out of love and respect, or are you driven by fear and insecurity? Are your actions aligned with your values, or are they a reaction to temporary discomfort? These questions cannot be answered in the heat of desperation. They require the cool clarity that only patience can provide. Time, when paired with patience, becomes a powerful ally. It reveals what is real and enduring while stripping away what is fleeting and superficial. In relationships, time can test the strength of connections, showing whether they are built on mutual respect and understanding or on convenience and habit. A bond that endures the test of time is often one worth cherishing, while one that fades in its absence signals that its foundation may not have been as strong as it seemed. Patience also allows for personal growth. When you resist the urge to act out of desperation, you give yourself the opportunity to focus inward, nurturing your sense of self and rediscovering your own strength. You begin to see that your worth is not determined by another person's actions or presence, but by the way you value and care for yourself. This period of growth can be transformative, helping you approach the situation or any future relationships with greater confidence and clarity. Desperation, by contrast, often leads to regret. It compels you to seek validation outside yourself, placing your happiness and sense of worth in someone else's hands. This not only diminishes your power, but can also create an unhealthy dynamic, where your actions are driven by fear rather than authenticity. In the long run, such behavior can erode relationships as it places undue pressure on the other person and undermines the trust and respect that are essential for a healthy connection. Choosing patience over desperation doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending not to care. It means acknowledging your feelings while resisting the urge to act impulsively. It's about finding strength in restraint and trusting that time will bring clarity. This doesn't guarantee the outcome you hope for, but it does ensure that whatever outcome arises will be approached with wisdom and self-respect. Patience teaches you to let go of the need to control everything. It reminds you that some things are beyond your grasp and that forcing outcomes often leads to unintended consequences. By embracing patience, you allow life to unfold naturally, trusting that what is meant for you will come to you in due time. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also fosters a sense of peace, as you learn to let go of what you cannot change and focus on what you can. Patience nurtures wisdom, offering the clarity needed to make decisions that align with your values and long-term happiness. It helps you distinguish between what is worth waiting for and what is better left behind. By choosing patience over desperation, you reclaim your power, honor your self-worth, and allow time to reveal the truth. And in that truth, you find the strength to move forward with grace, no matter the outcome. When faced with the uncertainty of no contact, it's easy to spiral into questions about what the other person is doing, feeling, or thinking. Are they missing you? Are they also choosing no contact as a strategy, or is it indifference? But in truth, these questions distract from the one that truly matters. What are you doing with your time, energy, and life? Shifting focus from their power to yours isn't just a mindset shift, it's a declaration of independence, a reclaiming of the energy you've been giving away. At its core, the decision to focus on your power begins with recognizing where your attention is going. Every time you dwell on what the other person might be doing, you're handing over your energy to a situation you cannot control. You're giving their actions or lack of them more influence over your life than they deserve. But your power lies in what you can control: your thoughts, your choices, and the way you spend your days. By redirecting your focus inward, you reclaim that energy and reinvest it where it can grow and flourish. This isn't about pretending you don't care or dismissing your feelings. Acknowledge them. Grief, confusion, or longing are all valid. But dwelling on the other person's potential actions keeps you stuck in a cycle of speculation. It prevents you from seeing the opportunities that exist in the present moment. Every moment spent wondering about them is a moment not spent building your life, nurturing your growth, or exploring your passions. It's a trade-off, and the cost is often higher than you realize. Focusing on your power also means taking responsibility for your narrative. Instead of framing this period as a waiting game to see what they'll do, see it as a chapter in your own story, a chapter where you rediscover your strength and redefine what matters to you. What are your goals? What dreams have you put on hold while pouring energy into the relationship? This is the time to revisit those dreams, to channel your energy into pursuits that ignite your passion and bring you joy. The more you invest in yourself, the more you grow, and that growth becomes its own reward. Another critical aspect of reclaiming your power is recognizing your worth. Your value isn't determined by someone else's actions or absence. It's rooted in who you are, in the unique qualities you bring to the world. When you focus on their power, whether they're reaching out, thinking of you, or staying silent, you're placing your self-worth in their hands. But your worth isn't negotiable, and it isn't something that fluctuates based on someone else's behavior. By focusing on yourself, you reaffirm that truth every day. This shift in focus also allows you to break free from the narrative of lack. When you're fixated on them, it's easy to feel like something is missing, like their presence is the key to your happiness. But when you redirect your energy inward, you begin to see the abundance in your own life, the friends who uplift you, the hobbies that bring you peace, the goals that excite you. You realize that your life is rich and full, not because of someone else, but because of who you are and the effort you put into living authentically. Focusing on your power also sets a tone for future interactions, whether with this person or someone new. When you stand rooted in your own strength, you approach relationships from a place of confidence, not neediness. You're no longer seeking validation or reassurance because you found it within yourself. This shift not only benefits you, but also changes the dynamic of any relationship you enter. You're not there to be completed, you're there to share your completeness. This period of no contact is a mirror, reflecting back to you the areas where you've perhaps given too much or lost sight of yourself. Use this time wisely. Develop routines that nourish your body and mind. Explore interests that expand your horizons. Surround yourself with people and experiences that remind you of your vibrancy. The more you focus on your own growth, the less their actions or inactions will hold sway over you. The question isn't about whether they're doing no contact too. That's their journey, their choice, and their process to navigate. The real question is what you're doing with the gift of this time. Are you using it to dwell in uncertainty, or are you seizing it as an opportunity to rise stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled? The choice is yours, and it's a powerful one. By focusing on your power, not theirs, you take the reins of your life, ensuring that your energy, time, and effort are devoted to the one person you can always count on, yourself. In the journey of navigating no contact, the greatest revelation lies not in what the other person is doing, but in how you choose to respond. This period is not a time to lose yourself in speculation or desperation, but a rare and valuable opportunity to rediscover your strength, reclaim your energy, and refocus on what truly matters: your growth, your self-worth, and your life. By shifting the narrative from what they're doing to how you're evolving, you transform uncertainty into empowerment and waiting into action. Remember, your worth is not defined by someone else's actions, but by the love, respect, and effort you pour into yourself. Use this time to align with your values, embrace your individuality, and build a life so fulfilling that it reflects the power you've always had within you. Thank you for taking this moment to focus on your growth and allowing these words to be a part of your journey. Keep moving forward with strength and grace. You've got this.